Well, welcome to this version of Q&A where we'll be looking at the ABC's program Q&A over Easter. And I'm going to show you a clip. I'm here at the Sydney Opera House looking across the bridge, and I'm here for a reason. Well, I was here to hear Rachmaninoff, but I thought I'd record this while I was here as well. And you'll see why. And as the helicopter goes over, let me show you this clip.
For you, what does Easter mean? Because you are a practicing Christian as well, I understand.
Yes, I'm a practicing Christian, and Easter for me is all about hope, forgiveness and love. And I think even if you're not a Christian, even if you're not a believer, that's something that we can all look to, and something that I think we all need at this point in our life and in this point in history. It really is something that guides me and gives me a lot of comfort. And I hope that it gives a lot of other people comfort. I think that the decline of religion is not necessarily a good thing for our society. I think that lots of people out there, particularly young people, are really hurting. And we're seeing them struggle with their mental health because they don't have a worldview that allows them to have hope for the future. And I think that's what faith really can provide you with, a sense of hope, a sense of connection to community. I mean, people aren't joining service organisations like Rotary or Lions. They're not getting involved in community organisations as much as they used to once upon a time. And I think that's not a good thing for society. I think we've seen more fragmentation and less of a sense of connection. So churches and religion can play a really important role in providing a sense of support network, particularly to young people. So I'd really encourage everybody to take the last 3 days of Easter as an opportunity to revisit faith, whether that's the Christian faith. I mean, we've just had Easter, so that seems like a pretty obvious choice.
We've also had Passover and Ramadan.
And we've had Passover, and we're in the month of Ramadan as well. So I'd really encourage everybody to take this time to give it another chance and give it another look.
It leads us to...
Okay, that was Dimitri Chugg Palmer, I believe his name is. He's chairman of the Young Liberals. And he had a very interesting answer to the question. Now, the question there is, do you need religion for community and for hope, forgiveness and love? The argument when people talk about religion is they say, look, it guides you, it comforts you, it helps you. I'm deeply uncomfortable with that answer, and if you're not a Christian, you may share my discomfort. Are we saying that, let's say, atheists don't have community? Does the gay community in Sydney not have community? Do you need to be religious in order to have community? Well, I think that's a very dangerous position to take. I'm not sure that it's true. In fact, I would go even further and say very often religion provides fragmentation. And there's been a lot of religious divides and indeed religious wars, although in reality only about 7% of wars, according to the World Encyclopedia of Wars in the world's history, have been fought over religion, which is a lot less than most people would think. But I think the other thing that disturbed me was the implication that it didn't really matter what religion, if you were Jewish or Muslim or Hindu or the different types of Christian, doesn't really matter. I think it does matter. I think it matters a lot. I think, what if your religion is wrong? And they can't all be right. What if your worldview is wrong? What if your religion just brings harm? And I think that these are questions that are well worth looking at. So I'm at Sydney Opera House just now, and you're talking about community. I've just been in to see Rachmaninoff. Well, I didn't see him, but obviously someone playing his piano, his Piano Concerto No. 1, I think. And I guess you could argue there's a certain type of community that goes along to this. Mostly older people, even older than me. There are different types of community, and there are different things that give people hope. And I think it's a mistake to say that you need religion for that. But what I would say is this: for reality, for truth, for real love, we do need to know God, and we do need salvation, and salvation is found in Jesus Christ. So I'm a little bit reluctant at kind of claiming lots of things for religion without recognizing the harm that religion does. and at the same time for implying that all religions are essentially the same. I don't think they are. And I think I want to be delivered from religion and actually brought into the reality that comes through knowing Jesus Christ. You know, at the end of the day, it was religious people that crucified Jesus. And religious people have very often been the strongest opposition. So I'm not going to deny that different religions can bring a sense of community and even a sense of hope. But if it's a false hope and if it's a exclusive community, I think there can be enormous problems. It's funny, I was talking with somebody earlier today about the Jehovah's Witnesses and how they could belong to that community. And certainly gave support, certainly did a lot of things, but it's a false religion and ultimately does a great deal of harm. And in fact, I think that religion can very often open things to abuse. So there's a few thoughts for you. Dimitri seemed a really nice guy. I can see what he was saying and what he was trying to do. But I think a lot of my non-Christian friends are going to say, I don't need religion to give me community, and I don't need religion to give me hope. And it's no use anyway if the hope is false. And it's no use if the community ends up being exclusive. And so I want to argue that real hope is found in Christ. And ultimately, I think real community, to the extent that it's both open and welcoming and yet supportive to those who are in it, I think that's ultimately found in Christ as well. He brings down the dividing walls of partition that are between us. So, see you next week for another one. And we won't be at Sydney Opera House, but I just thought I would do this while I was here. So, God bless you, whoever you are. And if you've got any questions, just drop us a line and please feel free to be in touch. Bye.